Welcome. We're glad you're here. We know your time is valuable, so we're going to move quickly today. And we want to thank you for being open to new ideas and approaches to solving what is really a crisis, a healthcare crisis in America. We're told every day by companies that they've been stretched. Their employees have been stretched by the cost of their out-of-pocket costs and their premiums, and it's unsustainable. So today we're going to talk about what the problems are. We're going to identify the areas within the health plan that are causing the problems, the waste, fraud, and abuse. We're going to outline some solutions. We're going to get a little granular, and then we're going to talk about next steps. All right. So let's just jump right in. All right. Here it is. The average employer is spending over $15,000 per year per employee on healthcare. You can get this number for your own company by adding up your total spend divided by the total number of your employees, not your total members. So you're going to have some dependents, spouses, children, and families. Take your total spend. If you're spending $4 million and you've got 200 total employees, that's $20,000 per employee. That's a pretty easy number for you to get. This has been increasing every year for the last 25 years. 30% just in the last 5 years. It highlights that the current model isn't working, and we think there are three basic problems that underpin the situation. Number one, all the players have misaligned interests. Every aspect of your plan is supported by a vendor or a provider or a carrier or a network or a broker who makes more money when you spend more money. We think that that's a pretty terrible position to be in. We want to bring all of those support vendors onto your side of the table that have your fiduciary interests in mind. The other big problem is there's no management of the claims. The frequency and severity of claims is managed maybe by a wellness program. No, that doesn't really produce an ROI. The claims themselves that are happening today inside your plan can be managed. That's the overarching message today, that you can bring supply chain management to your health plan. And then the other problem is over the last 20 years, we've lowered the cost by lowering the benefits, or managed it by giving the employees more cost, or shouldering costs onto the employees and their family, making them pay a bigger percentage of their share of the cost of these benefits. All of this is reversible. A little bit more on trend. This is the last 20 plus years. It's been outpacing inflation 2.5 to 1. By definition, that's unsustainable. It'll outpace our economy. The system is unsustainable if you take a look at wage growth. Wage growth over the last 10 years has gone up in the 50-60% range, but the cost of healthcare premiums, deductibles, out of pockets have outpaced and eroded all of those wage gains. Here's a graph that shows 20 years ago in 1999, an employee-only coverage, single coverage for an employee was less than $200 a month. Can you imagine having single coverage today under $300 a month? It is possible with great benefits, world-class benefits. Now, everyone in your organization has a different agenda. The CEO maintaining the course that you're on and minimizing disruption. The CFO counting the money, seeing the trend, and it may be good one year, but it's terrible the next. And of course, HR is worried about culture and compliance and how employees are impacted by any change. So we have to keep all of those interests in mind. Here are the four main silos of spend within your health plan, and we're going to touch on 3 of these today on how you can control them. That far one on the right, doctors aren't the problem. They're all willing to work within a fair and reasonable level of their relationship to actual cost of delivering their services, or what they're reimbursed by Medicare. That's a wonderful metric. If they're reimbursed by Medicare, they're not happy, but they are profitable. They're just not as profitable on a commercial plan. Most commercial plans will reimburse doctors at 125 to 135% of Medicare. It's the other 3 silos of spend that are huge multiples of actual cost. And we're going to show you that in just a second. Those are the areas where the waste is happening. The solutions exist. There's a lot of good news. The fixes are already out there. Big companies, mid-sized companies, even companies under 100 employees are already using the principles of the Health Rosetta to solve these problems. So what is the Health Rosetta? It's really an ecosystem. It's a blueprint for high-performing health plans. And it's replicable at the local level. The result is better outcomes, better financial performance, but better outcomes for your employees. And we're going to give you some case examples of that. It all starts with a custom health plan, not just a self-insured health plan, but a custom health plan. On a fully insured platform, you really don't have any control of the dollars that go through the plan. You send a premium check every month and you hope to get good service, but the actual control of the dollars flowing through the plan, it's not happening in a fully insured plan. Even in a self-insured plan where you're getting claims data about how much money is going through the plan each month, you're not really able to control the plan and you're not able to look forward. On a custom plan, that we convert these expenses, what is now their second or third largest expense behind payroll, straight to EBITDA. We lend predictability to the plan by looking forward through the windshield instead of backwards to the rearview mirror at claims data from the past. And the result is better outcomes for your employees. What I mean by that is it's possible to roll back your benefit levels to 1995 levels. Can you imagine having a baby for $500 completely out of pocket, or getting that football knee fixed for $750? That's what's possible. Or eliminating it altogether, your member costs altogether. Because your members are making the right choices, you're able to eliminate their member responsibility completely. That's what's possible. Ultimately, there's less risk to the plan and everybody's incentives are aligned. So let's take a look at misaligned incentives. Here's a slide that talks about supply chain management of your pharmacy silo. You know, there's over 30 different ways that money is hidden within your plan. There's 3 major pharmacy benefit managers in America, and they control over 75% of the market. You're likely with one of these pharmacy benefit managers now, and they're literally hiding revenue. We think that that's unethical because it's hidden. This adds significant cost to your health plan. How much cost? Well, Caremark just purchased Aetna last year for $64 billion. Where did a pharmacy benefit manager come up with $64 billion? It's from the plans that they manage. We think this money belongs to you. So we select a fiduciary pharmacy benefit manager that pledges complete transparency, complete pass-through of all the rebates and spread pricing. So you get a check every quarter for the rebates and spread pricing within your plan. It's flowing through to the carrier now. We want it flowing through to you. This is an example of what's possible. A municipality with 2,300 lives, they reduced their pharmacy spend alone by over $1 million in the first year. Another company, over 400 lives, reduced their pharmacy spend by over 50%. This is the easiest fix because it's non-disruptive to your members. They still go to their same pharmacy, fill their same prescriptions. We just have a fiduciary pharmacy benefit manager in place that only makes revenue from a fixed distribution fee. There's no incentive to drive prices up. And this is being done right now all around the country. This is the other, maybe the biggest silo of spend is the facility spend within your plan. Hospitals are marking up their services to rates that would really cause alarm if they were transparent about it. We think that this is bordering on criminality. Now, we need hospitals, we need doctors, and that's a strong statement I just made. But when you look at the actual cost to charge ratio, you tell me, is this fair? Is this transparent? Is this competitive? Is this the way capitalism should work? So this hospital system in our area just purchased another hospital system. They control over 70% of the market. By definition, that's an oligopoly. The left column is their actual costs for these services. We compiled a basket of services. That cost is a little over $750 million. Their billed charges, $11.3 billion. Now, they don't collect all of that money, but they collect a lot of it. The cost to charge ratio of 6.6%, said another way, they're marking up at an average of 15 times their actual cost. You can manage your plan much better than this. We think it's fair to reimburse a little closer to what it actually costs to deliver these services. And you can do that. Here's an example of a CT scan that's billed at $2,400, and we've seen it billed at all the way up to $6,000, but a billed CT scan at $2,400, the plan is reimbursing after the PPO discount $1,856. Take a look at that number at the bottom. $250 is the actual cost. Well, we think a fair and reasonable reimbursement would be closer to $600. You know what? That's the cash price. If you walk in and you offer to pay cash, the price is oftentimes half or a third of what the PPO discounted price is. But if you're on insurance, they will not give you a cash price. If you don't have insurance, they'll offer you a cash price. So something's messed up. This is the example of two major carriers and a basket of diagnostic codes and what they're actually reimbursing. Major carrier A, we won't name them, but you may be on them, is reimbursing at over $550,000. Major carrier B says we have deeper discounts. We're reimbursing at $515,000. Well, there's a better way. A negotiated contracted price, much lower, managing the supply chain like you do any other aspect of your business results in better outcomes, much lower reimbursement level. And here's the better outcome. I'm going to tell you a story about a partner in a law firm, a client of ours in Charleston, South Carolina. He needed his knee trimmed, his meniscus trimmed. He had put up with it for long enough. Going upstairs, it was uncomfortable. He was ready to go to one of the big hospitals in Charleston. We had the price, $36,000 and change. That procedure is done 5 times a week in that facility, and we showed their quality scores. It was in the 30th percentile, reinfection rates, readmission rates. We redirected him to a freestanding surgical clinic. His doctor had privileges at that clinic, and he told his doctor he wanted it done at the clinic. Total charges under $15,000. There was over $20,000 in net savings. So the member, in this case, the partner of the law firm, he got his procedure done at zero cost to him. When we're saving $20,000 for the plan, there's no reason that the member should have to pay anything. Here's a real life example of a client. 2 years in a row, her medical trend is downward. Here's a case study of a 150 life client for the last 10 years. The green bars are showing what would have happened if they had done nothing. They would have started at $8,000 a year in 2009 and trended up to $15,000 a year in 2019. Whereas by moving to the custom plan, they've had increases, good years and bad years, but their overall cost is less than half or about half of what it would be if they had stayed on the trend that they were on. Cumulative savings of over $3.7 million. Here's a case study of a client that just came on board last year. In 2019, we reduced their spend by 40% in the first year. Now, this is a home run. We don't achieve it all the time, but this is a real life client. And trending over the next 5 years, their spend will grow, but it will grow to a little over $3 million versus a total spend of over $6 million. Net savings over the 5 years of $11.8 million. These numbers are real, folks. This is what's possible. So what are next steps? To do some cost modeling. We've made the decision to make that cost modeling available to you at roughly 1% of your total cost spend. But here's the kicker, and this is the thing that makes it undeniably a no-brainer, is that if we can't produce an ROI of 4 times our fee, then we will hand you back the check. We're going to give you a pretty accurate projection of what first year looks like and the trend over the next 5 years. This is going to be a very accurate projection, not to the penny, but it's going to be pretty darn close. What are the barriers to moving forward? Well, we're told by CFOs these ideas make sense. I'm experiencing some of these same problems, and the ideas, they ring, but I just renewed. Well, if you're in the retail market, your rates are guaranteed by the carrier for a year, but you're not required to stay. You can leave at the first of any month and stop overpaying. So before we put the cart before the horse, we would want to do some cost modeling to quantify the opportunity for you to make sure this isn't a waste of your time. And then we can outline next steps and guarantee our fees. The other barrier moving forward, we're told, is I love my broker. I mean, I play golf with them. I like the guy or gal, and they've been great to us over the years. We understand this, so we're not looking to get anyone fired. We understand relationships matter. We'll work with your current broker to bring them solutions. We'll work as consultants on a flat fee. It's completely transparent. And unlike most brokers who get paid for activity and the trend increases you're seeing, we will get paid for outcomes. We will get results or we won't get paid. The other barrier we often hear is, I don't have the bandwidth to pull together all the data. Well, the prior slide showed that it's minimal data that we need. It's a few clicks of a mouse for your HR department, and we'll hold their hand to get that data. That's it. We're going to follow this today with the opportunity for you to email us and engage with us to start that cost modeling. We sometimes do that at no cost when we see the opportunity is enormous. We know we're going to deliver 10, 12 times ROI. And at those times, sometimes we do that at no cost. 4 to 5 times ROI is routine for us. Consulting project would follow. We'll have a letter of engagement. We'll guarantee our fees, as I mentioned, and we'll deliver actionable plans with detailed answers with underwritten rates, outlining the solutions and the vendors that are part of the solution, right? The implementation, it can be done by your current broker, advisor, or we can be part of that implementation solution. That's it. We appreciate you coming on board and observing today, and we'll stop now. We don't want to waste 1 minute of your time. We urge you to get in touch with us. We'd love to engage with you. All right, take care.